What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and I am back. What is happening? Tonight we are going to cover a lot of subjects, including China and Russia collaborating on the South. At least that's what our military is saying, on top of saying that they're ready to fight tonight to an entirely different country. So we have a whole lot going on. We'll be right back right after this. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, my name is Adam, aka Marf, and of course I was not here yesterday. I was in the hospital, so I will talk to you guys about a health update later. If you guys want to stick around, I won't bore any new folks with that. But again, diverticulitis is really bad, and it's my second time around. So if you know what it is, then you know that where I'm at then. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. If you want to, of course, go over and support us, make sure you know today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN, use the code Marfoogle, and you will get up to 70% off on a 3-year plan. And then, of course, if you're not getting notifications, you can go over to marfooglenews.com and sign up for push notifications and our email alerts. That, again, is free to use, and it will let you know exactly when we go live. So if there's a day like today where YouTube wouldn't let us stream and then it ended up being on our end, you'll know exactly when we actually click live and it goes through. So, and then, of course, everything that we tell you here today is going to be backed up. We take the time to archive every single article, tweet, video, document that we show you here today. You know exactly where it comes from. It's documented, the bibliography of sorts, so you know exactly where you're getting your news. You can go fact check it, you can go retrospectively back on it, and you can find out where it comes from. Again, here is Watching the Walls. It's very easy to navigate our site, marfooglenews.com. Once you see that, you'll click that. And then, of course, once you click that, it will bring you to our basically our link list here. And then, of course, down below will be the callers. That is also added live. And then, of course, if you want to support us on the right, there are all of our affiliates, our Amazon link, and any other way to pay us, PayPal, all that kind of stuff. If you want to help, we are truly independent. We do not have a multi-channel network. We don't have a legal team, so it'd be very great if you did. All right, let's move on. Dex, what is going on, and how are you doing tonight?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam, and I'm glad you're back and doing better.
Again, I'll tell you guys all about it at the very end, so we don't bother the people that want to get right into the news. This is pretty crazy. It says Defense Secretary Austin to NK says U.S. is ready to fight tonight. That's right. We're ready to fight tonight. On top of the many things we've talked about on the show, we've shown basically every last kind of step along the way. We've shown you that other countries are preparing for something massive. And it is my thought and my opinion, again, I am entitled to mine and you're entitled to yours, is that we are getting ready for something absolutely massive. The last year's events are only further proof in my mind of what is about to happen. It says the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin warned Thursday that American forces are ready to fight tonight in response to NK slamming drills resuming between U.S. and South Korea. It says the U.S. and South Korean forces have resumed military drills after pausing the exercise more than a year ago over the CV. It says, quote, our forces remains ready to fight tonight, and we will continue to make progress towards the eventual transition of wartime operational control to a Republic of Korea commanded Future Combined Forces Command, Austin said. It says, while meeting all the conditions for this transition will take more time, I'm confident that the process will strengthen our alliance, the Defense Secretary confirmed. It says Austin and Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Japan Monday for a 4-day trip aimed at reiterating America's commitment to allies in the region. Washington-led diplomacy effort focused on denuclearizing NK have remained stalled over sanctions disputes. Basically, over the sanctions that have stopped them from making more legit money. And then we have, of course, this battle going on between President Xi and Kremlin. Putin in specific, he basically called him a killer, which is pretty crazy to hear presidents say out loud, considering what all presidents are. Technically, it doesn't matter which president was, including our last one. If you want to think Soleimani, who do you think ordered that one? The one before that, Bin Laden, who do you think ordered that one? There's a whole list. If you go back, Clinton, all of them, they've all ordered hits. In fact, there's so many that we don't know about. There are so many hits that the U.S. government has pulled off, and we have no idea. CIA, even more. And I'm sure they know about it. So you're talking about they sign off on deaths every year, both sides. Every president or every ruler of any country has ordered them, and I probably bet even though the royal family doesn't have much power anymore, I bet they've even done it. So you're talking about every leader of the world has done it. What's crazy is the response from the Kremlin. Well, from Putin. He basically said, I'll get to it. He basically talks about a childhood rhyme, which doesn't rhyme in English, but you'll see. It says the Kremlin on Thursday denounced U.S. President JV remarks around the Russian President Vladimir Putin, warning it could rethink its approach to relations with Washington. Russia on Wednesday announced it's recalling its ambassador in Washington for consultations after B was asked in an interview whether he thought Russian President Vladimir Putin is a killer, and he said, "I do." And then it says, Putin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said it was a very bad statement by the U.S. Prez. And then it says that made it clear that he does not want to normalize relations. And I know there's people screaming that this is all theater and all of this. I don't know. We've pointed a lot of bad stuff their way. We've pointed a lot of bad stuff this way. It could all be, sleight of hand. Who knows? But what I do know is that they were all preparing, because what normal people don't realize is above them is these corporations that actually they profit from conflict. In fact, they'll pay for both sides, or they'll accept money from both sides, or rebrand their name but sell weapons to both sides and do work and research for both sides. So it's been going on for a long time. In fact, all the way back to the civil conflict, you had different families that basically profit off of both sides. And it says, we will proceed accordingly, Peskov said in a conference call with reporters, noting that there was nothing like that in history. He wouldn't answer if Russia would go as far to rupture diplomatic ties with the U.S. Again, so what JB said as well is basically that not only he agreed that, yes, he is a killer, he said he would pay for the meddling into last year's, or I guess 2016 and all of that. All of the meddling they did, of course, he said that they would pay for that. So that was kind of a big deal. But Putin's response is almost just as good. It says that Russian President Vladimir has reacted to President JB calling him a killer by challenging Biden to take part in a conversation with him broadcast live online, basically calling him out. And I guarantee this will not happen. Or if it does happen, then this is all set up, in my opinion. It says, I've just thought of this now. Putin told a Russian state television reporter, I want to propose to that JB to continue our discussion, but on the condition that we do it basically live. Whoa, like calling him out live. And you know that's not going to happen. It says, as it's called, without any delays and directly in an open, direct discussion. This sounds like, he sounds like basically you just said some fighting words. He's going to take off his shirt and hop on his horse and get on a live screen. It says, without any delays and directly in an open, direct discussion, it seems to me that it would be interesting for the people of Russia and the people of the United States. Putin's invitation seemed to amount to a challenge to a live televised debate, following a day of diplomatic uproar that began with B saying that he was, of course, killer. And then in an interview with ABC News' George Stephanopoulos, it says Russia recalled its ambassador to the U.S. So there's another part here, and I don't know if this one has it. He said...
Well, I did hear, I don't know if this just recently came out, but I did hear from the White House that they said they don't have time for this, that JB is too busy.
Oh, like
super
they
short
also,
quote.
By the way, they also said he doesn't have time to go visit the crisis down south, which, by the way, there is new news which we're about to cover, which will blow your mind. Apparently, they are collaborating down beyond the border there. So this is what P said to JB. It says, I remember in childhood when we were arguing with each other in the courtyard, we would say, I know you are, but what am I? And that's no accident, because it's not just a child is saying. There is a very deep meaning behind that. And by the way, it directly translated. There was another one. This one, I guess I wrote a different one. It basically translated to, if you call somebody names, that's your name, and that, basically you're looking in a mirror. So by him saying that, calling JB also a, So I thought that was pretty crazy. And then, of course, the Russian leader also wished him good health. Now, you can take that however you want to take that. A lot of people would say that that's kind of like, tongue-in-cheek, like, yeah, I wish you good health. Or, yeah, I wish you a safe trip home. A safe trip home. I just really hope that you have a safe trip home. It says, I would say to him, be well. I wish him good health. I say that there without any irony, without jokes, he says.
And I just heard JB saying, I'm rubber and you're glue, and it bounces off me and sticks to you.
Don't do that. Okay. And then U.S. military says China and Russia may be collaborating south of the border. This is, again, mainstream. This is something that 3 months ago we would have been had a little discussion underneath our videos. So just so you know, anybody watching this video, we have the article, we have the bibliography behind this, we have the visual proof. We have said this now for over a year. If you do remember that, make sure to put it in the chat. So anybody watching that's, judging this channel, we said this. We had information on this a year ago. And of course, some say that it's above us as well. And now they are actually putting it out there that they are most likely collaborating down in Mexico or down south. It says the head of the U.S. military command dedicated to operations south of the U.S. border in Central America, South America, and the Caribbean has warned that it appears that China and Russia are working together against Washington's interest across the region. So remember when people thought they saw Chinese and Russian tanks down there? I wonder if that was true. Wonder if that was quickly covered up. Don't know. Not saying that happened, but that's what the rumor was, so kind of crazy. U.S. Southern Command Chief Navy Admiral Craig Fowler listed China along with transnational criminal organizations as the biggest threats his forces face in the Southcom area of operations during a press conference on Tuesday. Echoing earlier remarks by his counterpart in charge of the Indo-Pacific Command, Fowler said that China is the greatest long-term strategic threat to the security in the 21st century. Chinese insidious and corrupt influences at work globally and in this region. That was a direct quote. That is not what I'm saying. And it says he provided a list of actions China has taken in this area and command. It says some examples include their pursuit of multiple port deals, loans for political leverage. These are things we've all covered and nobody was talking about when they happened. Diplomacy and undermined sovereignty, state surveillance, IT, and the exploitation of researches such as illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing. That I didn't expect the fishing part, but on a grand scale, that it's huge money. It says Fowler said that China outpaced the U.S. in diplomacy and was rapidly developing economic networks and infrastructure projects. Beijing, he claimed, is globally engaged in the hemisphere to further their interest in economic dominance. They want to become number one. Xi has said it many times. He said that it is their heavenly mandate that they will be number one and they want to be number one. And now they are the number one largest navy in the world. They have surpassed us, which no one expected, and actually nobody knew up until about a year ago. All of a sudden, it went from them trailing us to them leading by 70 ships. Now it's much more than that, and they are building, and they say that they're on their third carrier, and these are advanced carrier types. I think the 055 type. These are advanced carriers. They have amphibious carriers. They have all sorts of stuff now. But that's what they're showing us. we found out that they were making more jets, they were making more boats, they were making all sorts of Navy equipment that nobody knew about under the covers, humongous structures that were meant to block satellites from seeing them. So finally, they got shots from the water where they kind of went into where, I guess, some of the photos were where they weren't supposed to be. Some of them were where they claimed the ocean there, but they, basically, China claims it, but the rest of the world is like, nah, I'm going through if I want to. I don't need no ID. And that's exactly what happened. They got pictures, and there were thousands of military buildings that were building this stuff under these huge, huge covers. We broke that the second it came out. If you remember that was something we said 3 months before it came out, and it ended up coming out. Not because we have a crystal ball or we're the most, crazy, awesome thing, because military members in our group told us, and we passed it along as rumor, and that ended up being true. So it's not just me. It seems like the entire world is starting to realize that they are basically coming up. And there's an old school traditional thing where people say that they're so behind and they underestimate our foe. Meanwhile, our foe is grabbing waterways and trying to take control of the world. Sounds like history repeating itself. Let's see here. Barefoot Lass, thank you. Says, get better. Get some rest after the show, Adam, says our Foogle family. Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. I'll let you guys know in a little bit after the news. John Viverto, thank you, says, hi, Adam. Came across your show a little bit over a year ago, and I haven't missed a show yet. Just wanted to show some support. You and Dex are awesome. Thank you, and thank you. And then Bug Out Channel says, Foogle family is the best. Keep up the awesome work, Adam and Dex. Thank you, and thank you. And then Ilea, thank you for heading over to PayPal after the show. Screw YT. They take too much from, I can't say that, but yeah, much love, my friend. Yes, that is the cool thing about PayPal, is that they don't take percentages, but everybody's got to get theirs, right? And then we have Zippy Moons. Thank you. Says, I wish I had something to say. Many blessings, Zippy Moons. Tracy Q, thank you for going over there. Brant O, thank you. Kevin C says, I'm so blessed. I'll be sending my love for those who need it. And then Vanessa D, Lisa K. Vanessa D, thank you so much for your support over on PayPal. And then Adam, so sorry to hear you went to the hospital. My prayers are with you and Mrs. Marf. I hope you are feeling much better now. Lisa K, thank you so much. And I really do appreciate all the comments and prayers. A lot of them were actually scary after that community post. I'll let you guys know. Again, if you want to call in, remember the number to call is 224-400-MARF. We're going to do a couple more stories here, and then we're going to get over to that. And then thank you over on DLive. End Times. How much love, Foogle fam, Adam and Dex. You guys are awesome. We've got Ape Go Hard. We've got Truth is Out There. Dixie Doe is in the house. Jump Master, Jeannie F. Chandler, Edgy Whalen, Bear Claws, Meat Puppet, and, of course, Snowboard, Force of Nature, Jenny Texas, Judy Dow, all sorts of great people over there. And then Empress46, thank you for dropping by. And Ninja Guinea says, blessings to you all. Mindy's mom, appreciate that as well. Pink Chihuahua, thank you. Everybody that's been here throughout, again, a lot of names have been here for 3 years. Iberian Girl, thank you. And Snowboard, hope you're feeling better. All right. Again, the number is 224-400-MARF. If you want to call in, you can. I appreciate it. And then if you want to block yourself and, again, protect yourself against an EMP, there is no better time than now. Again, EMP Shield is actually doing a sale that just kicked off. On top of the $50 off that you get from Marfoogle News per device, you can actually combine it with their newest sale. If you get multiple devices, if you get 2, you get $20 off. If you get 3, $30 off per device. If you get 4, $40, and if you get 5, you get $50 off. Again, if you are trying to do multiple cars or a house, a car, a generator, solar system, then it is a really good sale, and it combines with ours. It does not impede ours, so you can actually combine those. It's one of the best times to get it. It can protect you against all 3 phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3, and it can protect you against solar flares, which we are overdue from. In the end, I do not feel bad ever for doing this because I believe this will save lives in the eventuality of a solar flare at the very least. But if an EMP happens, which, again, if you're following the news, then you can be the judge for yourself. They're all 100% American-made. It's a veteran-owned business. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP, and it will also help the channel at the same time as getting you a huge discount. All right, and then we'll go over to this. Again, mysterious high-altitude flight corridor was opened up between Area 51 and the Pacific. It says a restricted test strip of airspace bridged the Nevada test and training range with the Pacific Ocean during a few-hour window last Saturday evening. Again, this is actually, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. It says late last week, a curious alert appeared in the Federal Aviation Administration's database of notices to airmen, or NOTAMs, which, among other things, alerts aviators of chunks of airspace that are temporarily off limits. So something flew through by here that was, you're not supposed to see or not supposed to be by. It says the details strongly point to the comings or going of a high-altitude flying aircraft between either Area 51, also known as Groom Lake, or the Tonopah Test Range Airport, two of the U.S. military's most closely guarded flight test facilities, and the Pacific Ocean to the southwest of San Francisco. So it went from there to there, and they basically completely closed it. So something traveled between there and there. I wonder what it was. Again, this is something that is obviously top secret, that high altitude, so who knows if anybody saw it. But if something lines up, again, this was active between 5:45 p.m. and 8:15 p.m. local time the following day. So it was basically a 24-hour period, or a little bit over a 24-hour period. And it says this is a very odd time when military aviation training and test activity is usually at a minimum. It says the notice outlined a path 20 nautical miles wide and 426 miles long at an altitude flight level of 450 and a flight level 600 or 45,000 to 60,000 feet. The exact route, defined by a series of named waypoints, can be plotted by using tools available by the website ForeFlight, as seen below. So this is, again, the path that they took to California from this place, and it was completely off limits. So something big and scary traveled there, or at least big and top secret. Pretty crazy. T-Town Russian Girls has been your fan since you started. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that. This isn't really my car. Truth be known, I drive a Buick, an old Buick, comfy and hauls arse, says the recalcitrant driving in a Ninja Guinea. That's okay. Occasionally people rent a cooler car to look cool. Bling on Grammy, thank you, love you. Adam and Dex, really do appreciate that. Thank you, all the prayers and everybody that's going out. Thank you. Is Sergey Brin really building the world's biggest aircraft? Here's everything we know. So, again, this ties in with whatever might have left. It says, Google co-founder Sergey Brin loves airships. He loves them so much that his 2012 debut for Google Glass, rest in peace, involved a skydiving stunt where a team of jumpers leaped out of a Zeppelin floating over downtown San Francisco. So it may come as no surprise that since stepping away from Google, it says that the 9th richest person in the world focus has been on exactly that, building a giant sky yacht. This is the future, folks. These people have so much money, they make it rain on themselves. Media first caught wind of Brin's massive airship project inside the NASA Ames Research Center in Mountain View in 2017. At the time, it was all very secretive, but in the past few years, more details have emerged. And a few weeks ago, a job listing for Brin's airship company, LTA Research and Exploration, revealed even more, according to TechCrunch. Here's everything we know. He wants to use the airships for humanitarian aid. It says, unlike jet planes, airships have the ability to land or deliver goods almost anywhere. One thing I think of when I think of this is seeing these big, whatever you call them, blimps flying around. And we're talking about giant blimps with yachts attached underneath them. This is like straight out of a dystopian future movie, or whatever that movie was, where everybody played a different character through 3 different sets of time. I'm trying to remember what that movie was called, but man, where everybody was in the sky, and the sky was all of these kind of pirate ships in the sky held up by blimps. This is nuts. It says it's going to be massive. It says they're going to be huge, and they're not going to be cheap. It says it's going to be a massive on a grand scale. A source told The Guardian in 2017, estimating that the Brin's airship would be about 650 feet long. Just to put that into perspective, a football field is about 300 feet. So this thing would be 2 football fields plus in length. This would truly be a kind of a cruise ship in the sky, at least the blimp part of it. It says at this size, the flying machine would definitely be the world's largest aircraft today, although it would still be smaller than the ill-fated Hindenburg Zeppelin of the 1930s, which was 804 feet long. For context, that's more than 3 times the length of a Boeing 747, or more than 4 times the length of your typical Goodyear blimp. It says the same source also told The Guardian that the airship would cost Brin as much as $150 million. He currently has a net worth of more than $86 billion. That's funny. I barely heard about, and we've covered him, I think, but $86 billion. Billion. It takes 1,000 million to get to 1 billion, and then he's got 85 more. So he could make a whole fleet of these things. Think about if you can make something like this with that kind of money. Think about it. You could make your own army. In the future, I don't know what's going to happen. Angela R. I mean, think about it. If you had that much money, you could take power. You could actually seize power. You could pay off enough people to get in charge of whatever you wanted. Sounds like something. Or if you don't have the right look or the right stuff, you can just pay somebody to take an office that you want and have them be a puppet. But that's never happened. Right? Never. Mystical Misfit, thank you. Life is Better on Stilts. MRSA1, Groovy Grandma, and of course, Stormy7572. Adam, good to see you back. Take the time you need to heal. Thank you. Again, I'm taking it as I can. I really I wish I didn't skip yesterday because it was a good day news-wise. U.S. Army prepping robotic combat vehicles for big test with soldiers in 2022. Everything we've talked about over the last couple of years is now coming true. And, of course, it's been pretty obvious. They've been showing us these robotic tanks. They've been showing us these robotic drones. That's why I said the next conflict will be bonkers, because it's going to be robot versus robot. And now they are altering DNA of people in the military, or at least in the higher ranking stuff. They're doing all sorts of weird experiments that, again, they're talking about making perfect soldiers. If life wasn't a movie before, it is most definitely now. Glad to see you back. Sending prayers and good vibes. Zippy Moons, thank you. Awesome. And the Awesome D-Live fan, thank you. What do you think about this? It says the U.S. Army has taken receipt of its light and medium robotic combat vehicle, or RCV, prototypes from industry teams, and they're putting them through the paces this year ahead of a major company-level soldier assessment in 2022. Service took delivery of the first 4 RCV light vehicles from the Q&A North America and Pratt Miller team, which won the contract to produce the prototypes a year ago. It says, in November 2020, the other 3 arriving before Christmas holiday. Alfred Grain, Acting Director and Deputy Executive Director of the Ground Combat Systems at the Army Combat Capabilities Development Command, say that 10 times fast, said at the Association of the U.S. Army's Global Force Next virtual symposium on March 16th. These things are one of the most advanced tanks you've ever seen. And again, these are robots, and some of them, now they're going to have AI technology intertwined with it. And again, it says to begin the full system manned or unmanned teaming process he had. So these can be unmanned. That is freaking scary. Imagine a tank coming your way and there's no risk to it. No physical risk to it, at least. Pretty nuts. Barefoot Lass, much appreciated. Again, if you would like to call, 224-400-MARF. Check this out. It says defense. No, wait. Sorry. Already got that. Californian Theme Park Association hoping to mitigate screaming when amusements thrill rides reopen. Dex, is this really as stupid as... And this is Michael Bortoriomo? He's not related to... That's Bartriomo, right?
Yeah, this is crazy. I couldn't believe that this is what they're saying. I mean, we have a roller coaster.
Oh, because of CV.
Yeah, but we have one here that's called the Scream Machine. The whole intention is to make you scream.
Are they going to change the name to the machine? To the Please Be Quiet machine?
The silent machine.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But yet, if you get... Man, if you've ever seen in they have the passes that are going out, and I tweeted this before the show. The passes, once you have your pass that you got your thing, basically they had people just hanging out and, no cover, drinking, hanging out at a bar, 100 people in close contact. Even though they say, even after you get it, you could still spread it. Doesn't make much sense at all. Some of you, we don't have to tell. You guys are already thinking exactly what you already know. Insanity. And then it says the next GameStop, how China or Russia could attack our financial system. Holy moly. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, where are you? That was for Cynthia Lynn. That was weird. That was for Cynthia Lynn, who just did a ninjet over on DLive. Says, glad you are feeling better, Adam. Keep your strength. We need you and Dex and the Foogle fam. Shout out to Maria, who turned me on to your site. Well, sorry for blasting all of your ears there, but luckily everything went okay. Cynthia Lynn, that's huge. Thank you, and thank you. I believe that's your first time on that list. We are making a piece of art. It is collective. So thank you, and thank you. Global Impact. Thank you, Adam and Dex, and thank you, Zippy Moons. Zippy Moons looks like gifted out a bunch of badges over on DLive. Thank you. We really do appreciate it. Again, we are truly independent. We do not have any backing or multi-channel network, so it is appreciated. The next GameStop, how China and Russia could attack our financial system. What do you think about this? I'm going to go over to the chat. Of course, we have seen SolarWinds. We've seen the Microsoft attacks. Of course, we've seen different things altered via the internet, which they might be saying so they can stop people from talking on the internet. With the GameStop thing, there is a big debate because do you stop people from having kind of discourse even in the financial world now? It's already happening as far as opinions people, I love that people say, there's still freedom of speech, but it's only freedom of speech if you agree with, what 99% of people say. Otherwise, it's considered H speech or it's considered something else and you can't say it. And then the other, the other side of that argument, they go, well, if you're saying that, then you're probably thinking something bad. No, there's a lot of things you cannot say that, you can say it, but you won't be around long. Or you can say it, then all of a sudden you don't have a platform to speak on. So how is that? There shouldn't be repercussions for speaking your mind or even questioning, even if you were questioning the government or what is happening, because guess what? That's what the whole thing was put in there in the first place for. Questioning a government or questioning, ruling class. Don't understand it.
What's fascinating about this, Adam, we just talked about this a week ago. We were talking about the million people that China has to deploy, and they were saying it was to deploy for disinformation. This goes hand in hand with exactly what they're talking about here, is using that type of people power and information power to do something similar to what the people did, which was more organic with GameStop. But imagine what would happen if they tried to replicate what happened with the Redditors and GameStop, right? If they tried to replicate that in all sorts of wonky ways throughout Wall Street and completely throw our market into a tizzy by raising and lowering stock prices with all of this misinformation.
I mean, look at what they're gonna be able to censor everything, including, financial talk, anything and everything. You're not going to be able to talk about anything that goes against, big corp. That's so scary.
Well, yeah, and then now turning this into, a tool or a weapon, so to speak, right, for China and Russia to use against us.
It's I don't even want to read the rest of this. I'm gonna let you guys read the rest of this on the website, marfooglenews.com. This is like one of the few things that is the next kind of two paragraphs. I just get really frustrated. It's another reason why I had to step away from Twitter after the, in January, February. I had to step away from Twitter. I could not stand it. I couldn't stand seeing all of this. And I'm like, how do people not see how obvious this is? How are people so oblivious that this is all going on? How do people not see that? I want to say it, but guess what? You can't. You can't say it. You can't say it. And everybody knows what I'm saying. There's a couple of people like, no, I actually don't. What is he saying? The whole event, the last 2 years, just insane. It says Congress presses B to build up Navy. Well, no duh. China surpassed us by 70 ships in just about a year and a half. Get building. But of course, yeah. House Armed Services Committee members from both parties are pressing the B administration to build up the strength and size of the Navy. Representatives Elaine Luria and Rob Whitman, so that's both sides of the aisle, that's the D side and the R side, both saying that more funding and support is needed for America's fleet to counter China. So now finally, both sides of the aisles are seeing it, which before, the one side of the aisle wouldn't even go into the task force. There was not one single member from the D family that was in the China task force. And I don't believe it's changed, but now you finally have, somebody like Elaine Luria that's actually speaking up. It says, which now touts the largest navy in the world to counter China, which now touts the largest navy. Whitman, the ranking member of the House Subcommittee on Sea Power and Projection Forces, said that confronting China at sea may be a difference between winning and losing an extended struggle with Beijing. What he's saying is he's saying that we are most like that will be the difference of us winning or losing a conflict. It says the most important realm is what is going to happen on the sea. Do you like how he put that? What is the most important realm is what is going to happen on the sea. It says if we're going to deter China, we have to have the ships. To field a larger fleet, an increased reorganized defense budget will be necessary, the member said. Early plans for the B administration declared a flat budget for the Pentagon in 2022, falling short of congressional hopes. Both Luria and House Republicans are asking the B administration to set a budget that grows at 3 to 5% per year to keep pace with inflation. Luria says a prominent D on the Armed Services Committee pressed the administration and the Pentagon for more answers on how they will pursue their plans for the Navy. She says, quote, "We have a lot of questions." It says, "A lot more visibility needs to be put on the role of the Navy plays in any conflict in the Pacific." Again, not something I like thinking about because I am on the West Coast. The West Coast is going to be ground zero, in my opinion. And probably now that we know that they're doing stuff down south, probably the southern border, which is nuts. And it's just funny that all of a sudden, did they stop building that deterring structure down there on the south end of the country? Dex, do you know? I believe we covered that they paused it, or didn't they dismantle part of it? And it looks like he is on the phone, so that's okay. Kyle Sober says yes. Check it out. Who was that? Miss Marf. Miss Marf says, "My phone's predictive text knows me too well. Haha. Much love from Santa Fe. Yes, stopped building. Isn't that kind of odd? R. Taylor says, yep, all scripted. Badly, too, like a USA Up All Night B-rated movie. R. Taylor, that is like, I just can't believe it. Like, I'm seeing what would be a really bad plot to a movie, and you're like, how is it so predictable? I mean, come on. Really? He went in and then he stopped the building of it? At the same time, they won't play a part in the China task force, and they also won't do anything against them, and they won't speak badly about them, and then they I don't get it. It's pretty crazy. All the pieces fit. It's a massive setup, says Roaming Wolf. Haha. Now you'll get it. Jan Blackman, Texas governor, said he was going to finish wall. I hope he does. I want to move there. Construction was halted, says Paul Oliver. Is that just nuts or what? It just seems like it's too perfect. And then we have a big deal. China wants a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. Well, duh. It says currently only the United States and France operate true nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. The China ones, I believe, are nuclear, but they are nuclear and diesel, so they're not fully nuclear. They have nuclear subs, but they don't have carriers. It says, and this includes the United States Navy's 10 Nimitz-class carriers and one Gerald R. Ford-class carrier as well as the French Navy's flagship Charles de Gaulle. I'm sorry, I'm not good at French. Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle. The warships are capable of operating for more than 20 years without refueling and have an expected service life that exceeds half a century. Is that nuts? 20 years, just keep going. Doesn't need gas. That's nuts. 20 years without refueling. What an insane thought. One thing that I always thought is like the soldiers that go on nuclear ships and nuclear subs, I couldn't do that. Like, that's nuts. Even though it's protected or something, wouldn't you think all those guys are getting cancers or different things? I don't know. How do they protect that? I know it's probably in thick walls or whatever, but still. And it says within the next decade, it's possible that the world's oceans could see at least some additional nuclear-powered carriers patrolling distant waters. The United States Navy has been exploring ways to extend the life of the Nimitz class, while France has been currently building a new nuclear-powered carrier. All right, we have Luis, and it looks like we're not taking that many calls tonight because it is a later show. Let's get Luis on the phone, and thank you everybody for your support over on YouTube. I do appreciate that. Dex, do you want to get Luis on, who is Iron Cowboy, aka James?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? So you're calling from Mexico, is that right?
That is correct. I'm from Mexico. I'm in Cuernavaca, Morelos, like 70 kilometers from Mexico.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So what's going on?
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about the Iron Cowboy. It's something really great that is happening right now that people doesn't know. I don't know if you can help me to on the screen, to put on the screen. This guy is making a full triathlon every day. He's making, he's basically swimming every day, 2.4 miles swim. After swim, he's making 112-mile bike. And after 112-mile bike, he's making a 26.2-mile run. He's making that every day, starting on March the 1st, and it's going to end on June the 8th.
So you're saying they're doing Ironmans? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a legend. He already in 2012, and not many people know about him. So to me, it's like very important to people to be aware that he's pushing his body to the limit every day, every single day for 100 days. He's doing that every day.
Let me pull up this link. Dex gave me a link to the Iron Cowboy. And he's basically doing this to fight trafficking, correct? Of people trafficking.
That is correct. He's a great guy. He's from he lives in Utah, so he's like just to get up every morning. Yeah, actually, he's got on. You can see pictures on Facebook. You can put the Iron Cowboy on Facebook as well, and you can see pictures about him on bike, swimming, and people go and join him.
That is actually so. I'm just realizing I want to say that I saw something on Instagram about the same gentleman, and I'm recognizing this picture. That is really cool. So again, I think it's a noble cause for you to help out somebody that is obviously doing something good for the community, and I do appreciate you calling in. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go, Luis?
Yeah, I mean, just the thing, people doesn't go or realize how big or deep this can be. I mean, just imagine how your body will feel right after making 4 triathlons. He's finishing the number 18 today. So he's finishing the 18, tomorrow go the 19 and go to the 20th. But your body basically feels like doesn't want to wake up. He go to his house and he go and he acrobatic in a cabin. You know, with the scuba divers, when they go really deep, they have the decompression cabin. The 100 triathlons in 100 days is insane. That guy is nuts. I couldn't do one triathlon in 5 days. So I get it. Yeah. My comparison for him is like he's like all that pain he's going through that pain by his own will, and nobody's pushing him to do it. So he's going through that pain because he wanted to do that. But to me, it's like it's the same thing like Jesus has, like at the moment he walked earth, he was suffering and suffering. But anyway, he's still giving and giving, So he's making so much effort that to take it lightly, I think he deserves more recognition for people, because it is hard to move to make us do something, to be a better human beings, and he's pushing the boundaries for impossible to be a better human beings on whatever aspect of life. The same as Sadhguru and many other people in the world. We don't always talk about. We're aware about what's going on in the world, but we're trying to do the best that we can do is be a better self. So he's for me, that is very, very important, because every day it reminds me that somebody is doing better, a human being, and impossible is nothing.
Well, Luis,
it's an inspiration for me, and I think for so many others.
No, yeah. And I'm glad you shared this with us. Luis, what we're going to do is we're going to share this website so everybody can go check them out, and we'll try to include another one as well, because it looks like a lot of people are talking about him. Especially he's got over 100,000 mentions on Facebook. It said there on that search. So again, thank you so much for calling in, Luis, and we will share this out so people can see it. Again, we have got a caller right behind you, so thank you for calling in, Luis, and I appreciate you. And it's your first time call. Don't make it your last, okay?
It's part of is my little piece of my little grain of rice to help somebody else to be known.
And it is much appreciated. Luis, thank you so much for being selfless and using your time to put somebody else up on a pedestal. That is appreciated. That was Luis from Mexico pushing up somebody else. Again, I really do appreciate that. Before we take Sarah Lee, we'll take one more caller here, Sarah Lee. I do want to give you guys just a quick update. So tonight ran a little bit differently because we were running late. But for some of you that care, I had pain after my last live show. And after my last live show, I was actually physically uncomfortable, and had a couple times where I actually had to ask Dex to read an article because I was in physical pain. And I pretty much knew that I needed to go. This time I went early. Last time that I had diverticulitis, I waited until I couldn't walk. This time I felt like it was early, and usually what happens, because I don't have insurance, I'll wait, and I don't end up going into the ER, and I'll just try to do every natural thing I possibly could. The first time it happened, I was eating crappy foods and everything else. Basically what diverticulitis is that there is there's these little pockets in your intestines, and they say if anything gets in them, there was this theory that seeds would get in them and then get infected, and they would just be this huge golf ball on your intestines. And the scary part is they get all big, and if they rupture, your intestines leak into your body, and you can get sepsis and you can die. What is even crazier is when I did the community post yesterday, basically telling people what happened for the second time, people said, there was a lot of people that stepped forward that said, I had parts of my intestines removed. At 32, I had this, and I had a colostomy bag. A lot of the things that people said actually kind of scared me, because I thought about what would life be back? What would life be with a colostomy bag? Or what would life be if I died? People said that their wife or husband died from it because they didn't take it seriously. Died of sepsis. Right when you get sepsis, you turn blue or green, and it's immediately the doctor. I was worried about it, and the doctor said, no, if you get sepsis, it is immediate. Like, they will know. You will look, like a different color. It's like scary. And yesterday I went in once again. They brought me in. They did a CT scan, and immediately they saw it was big, and it didn't rupture, so that's a good thing. But they said it very well could have, and if it ruptures, you're pretty much screwed, and you immediately go in to get surgery and all that. So anyways, for whatever reason, and I think it's because they just know if you've had it 2 or 3 times, then at that point it can rupture. If you're young and healthy, if you've had it a couple times, then, you might not have to go that route. But they basically said if this happens again, you need to talk to a surgeon and have a part of your colon and everything removed, which is super freaking scary. And to see how many people have had that happen and how many people have, died from this, it is really scary. So that's what happened. What the solution is, they put you on 14 days of aggressive antibiotics, and it doesn't really kick in for 3 days. I've got a lot of pain. What's funny is I actually feel better sitting down. If I'm standing or walking or laughing or, doing any of that, it hurts. So anyways, I just wanted, for those of you who care, that's what happened. And it is incredibly serious. But for also those of you, I do appreciate all of the suggestions you've made. I did take a lot of those after the first time I said I had it. I have changed my diet. I have done a lot to change my diet. I've done intestinal rescue, this psyllium powder. I've been very routine about it. And it still happened. So that is the scariest part. I've not stayed away from seeds and cream and dairy and all that kind of stuff, and went to almond milk, which sucks, and all this other stuff. Even tried soy milk. And you guys know me. I didn't tell anybody. But anyways, it is really bad, and this is like the second time in a year. So I'm pretty freaked out about it. And I really appreciate all of your prayers. I've got 4 kids, 3 little ones that I am going to need to be around for at least another 18 years. And I just get really scared that I'm going to be there to do everything I need to do. And my wife is great. She's had to deal with 3 small children under 5 years old, which if you have 3 children at all, let alone 3 small children, but I still have to do things. And it's almost impossible. I can barely walk. So anyways, it's not fun. Thank you all for the prayers, and for those of you who do care about me personally, and I know I don't expect all of you to, I cannot say thank you enough. So thank you all, everybody, for your support for the channel, and thank you everybody for the prayers for me. All right, let's get Sarah Lee on. And then that she's calling from NZ, New Zeal. Can't even say their country name because of what happened a couple years ago. All right, let's get Sarah on, Dex. Sarah Lee. And I'm not going to make it.
We're working on it, Adam.
Not going to make a comparison to, well, if your name's Sarah Lee, you've probably had a comparison made. In the meantime, I'm going to go over to the chat. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And there's a lot of people, obviously. Sarah Lee, great name. Yes. Joe Adams, hey, praying for you, Marf, says Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Is that just Lisa? Or did Lisa change her name? Catacombs, Knowledge, what is going on? Marlo. Marky Sparky, thank you. Thanks for the prayers, Kelly. Lakeside Laura, thank you as well. Catherine M. WJ315, yes, we do. God bless you, Mar. Thank you, Don Fast. Garden Spices, thank you, Griffle. Philbilly X. First thing I think of daughter of Bruce Lee. Oh, did she die of that? Gone Girl 777, we care about your health also. Is she here? I know she's been going through some stuff too. There's been a few people that have been going through some rough times, so Appreciate everybody that sends positive feelings and prayers to all of them. LCJC says, we've had some storms here. Sorry about not being here. Oh, that's all right. I know that. So another thing we didn't really cover, but there was 18 to 21 tornadoes today or yesterday. For any of you that have lost power or you have all of the storms going on, I'm praying for you just as much. Snafu is here, says the bread. Joyer Aponte, thank you. Carmela Thomas, haven't seen you in a while, Snaps. Jalen Mason. HW Liberty is here. Thank you, guys. All right, let's see if we have Sarah Lee. The problem, and I believe she's called before from NZ. The problem is she's in NZ, so she calls internationally. Last time, I don't know if you remember, I think she called, and Dex, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Adam?
I've got you.
Okay.
Last time...
Yeah, she's online.
Sarah Lee, did you call after the NZ event?
Yeah, that was... Well, which one? Because we've had a few.
Well, the one that changed the internet. They stopped letting people live stream.
The fake Christchurch thing. Yeah.
Yes. The thing that you can't even say anymore. All right, Sarah.
Okay, I can't say that word either. Okay.
Oh,
no, well, I've read the list. I think I've got them memorized, so we're good.
No worries. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not still on there, but for a while they were actually you couldn't say your
it's
country
all coming
name.
back. Everything's going. Oh, all the videos are reappearing. How about that? I know why.
Isn't that weird? Well, Sarah Lee, so timelines of the Matrix and how it all connects. What's up with that?
Okay, so originally, I was born in Germany. I moved to the UK with my parents. My parents were in the military. I'm a military baby. My mum was a sergeant major. I then came to NZ, and I couldn't work out why. And I've now moved into a building. I found my way down from Auckland down to Taranaki. Now, I also have studied the ley line grids. X marks the spot, Mount Taranaki. It's on the ley line grid directly to Uluru, which is what the Aussies have. And I'm going, what's all this about? I live in a building which is a red brick building. It's an old bank. So you look at bank of batteries. I'm in a bank and I've got a voltage. So I don't know how it works, but I've been getting information and I don't know, I'm so in tune, and all of a sudden everything starts to make sense. Everything is layered. Are you there?
Yeah, we're all listening intently.
Okay. So we're all layered. So you're layered from the inside to the out. And what they've done is reduce the copper in our diet. So everything copper. Copper is key. Copper is the Tesla coil. So once you get copper inside yourself, you can then go to the next layer, which is you put it on your skin. You wear a copper bangle. You can then tune into the brick or whatever's outside of you, and then you put a layer of copper around your house, and it all connects you to the ether. It's all about the ether. Now, you have to look at Jacinda Ardern, right? Poor puppet. She was on Spitting Image, and she floated in with an umbrella, which is all down to Tartaria. My cartoon caricature done 15 years ago, the spitting image of Jacinda. Oh, my God. So everything is from inside to without. What the world needs to do is raise their weather vanes. And when you go vein, you go vein, vein. There's two ways to spell it, eh? So if everyone just put a copper cross on their roof, they can connect to the ether. I've seen the power box that is installed outside my bank. I'm connecting to everything in the vault and the safe, and everything underneath is water flow. It's Tesla. It's Tesla. It's like, I don't know how I get this stuff, but that's why I'm here. I'm ringing you, and I'm guessing I went on air at a certain time because we're all connected to the Matrix. If people get banned off Facebook, that's a good indication. They need to work out where they're being stopped from posting because people have not connected to their timeline on the grid because their friends and followers have not connected to the timeline, and it's all about numbers and dates. Everything is sacred geometry.
And by the way, I was again. I'm very interested in your thought process and how you are going from one thing to the other. I totally understand, and I actually have friends that I think you would get along with perfectly because they've tried to kind of get me on their level, and I don't think I'm up there yet.
No, that's our job. That's our job. You have the channel, you've got the frequency, and I'm calling in from New Zealand because I know, and I think I went on air about, I don't know the timeline, it was about 1611 here. That is the whole point. Everything comes down to numbers and sacred geometry. So just to let you know, listeners know, 333-666-999, they're not bad as long as you use it for the positive, because we're all alkaline batteries feeding the grid. We're all batteries. That's it. We're all power. So you only have to look at a state, and I've been to America many times, and you have lots of stoplights, right? And traffic lights. However, if you have a roundabout, it feeds the grid because it feeds the power. There is a whole, this is quantum physics. Now, just to bear in mind, Marf, I'm a 50-year-old woman, and I don't know how I get all this info through my head. I don't know, but I do know what I'm saying is true. And we're all looking for truth. So Tesla, yeah, you know, everything we've seen, I've had to delete my history and everything I've learned and go back to basics and go, okay, right.
What do you think about what do you think about other dimensions happening at the same time, or what do you think of
they're merging now, which is why everyone's seeing things like spacecraft. The dimensions are merging, and reality is going to be the next dimension. Well, we're going into 5D, obviously. If you buy into Biden won the election, it might be a strike. That's your belief. But we are splitting. We are splitting right now, and many of us can feel it because you get up some days. So I've been going numb. I've been going numb since the first lockdown here in NZ. And it's like, what is going on with my body? And I then get more info through. By the way, what did you go to hospital for?
Diverticulitis.
Yeah,
it's in
this
intestinal.
is all part of it. I had a friend here. He's just been locked up. He's been put in jail, and they took his appendix out. Now go and research the word appendix. Appendix is in every book, and it's biblical. You go and research it. It is like, they've taken out his access to his records. Because we've all got it within us. We've all got it. And we just need to tune in. And raising the ether and raising the power and raising copper rods. So here's another one. A cross on the roof. They hijacked the cross for the church and for religion. But if you have a cross on your roof and everyone raises a copper cross on their roof, we can connect to the ether, which is why they're felling trees, because trees are key. It's all part of the ether and the energy factor we get through. It's like, I see it, and I don't know why I see it. Like I say, I'm a fucking Excuse my French, Dex. We're part of the ether. Once you connect to it from within to without, people start to raise the vibration, raise the frequency, and we only channel in to people like yourself.
So let me ask you,
we listen.
There was a doctor that did a thing about a year ago that basically had a collective day where everybody was supposed to raise the frequency. Did you see that? He was a pretty well-known doctor.
I don't know which doctor, but yeah. Anything. It's thoughts. Thoughts are hijacked.
So you believe that would work?
Just to let you know my background as well, I came to NZ and I got my baby alert on, and a lot of women on your channel will get this, right? I need a baby, need a baby, need a baby. So I've got a daughter. She's a 333. She's a positive energy that I've brought into the house. He was an ex-politician in NZ. I've met all of the players in the game. I've met them. I know who they are. Oh, and I've also got a video that I did through Step Up Taranaki. I got the whole region dancing, and I even had the Prime Minister dancing in my video. Now, that is, so when you get angry thoughts, that's a demon, right? So demons are angry thoughts. And they come and connect with you just so you can't beat them. It is a whole game, and this is the Matrix. This is Keanu Reeves on steroids, right? And I'm sitting here going, I don't know how I know all this. I don't know, but I know. And I've got other people I've connected with in NZ, and we all get it. We're all talking the same language. Now, in the Bible, it says there will be a unified language. And I'm going, yeah. The unified language is literally we all get the same speak. It doesn't matter. We see through everything. That's a level of consciousness. That's 5D.
So by the way, so we're running out of time here, but I want to say thank you to Able Bodied for reiterating what our rules are there. Of course, there's a lot of people that agree with you, and then there's going to be some that, of course, some of these theories rub the wrong way. But
they can throw it at us. I don't mind.
Because
I'm here for a reason.
You've been here for a long time. You called 2 years ago or something too. At least 2 years ago. So you get how it works. I want to thank you for calling tonight.
Yeah, I know how it works, and you do too. I know that. You're a gift from God.
There's a lot of people that want to hear from you again, so I hope it's not your last call, and you don't have to wait 2 years to call again. But we do got to stick to our times here.
Yeah, no, I know that. I appreciate it, and honestly, you do such a magnificent job, mate.
Well, I also it takes me. I'm not on the same level, so I do hear some things there.
No, you're not far, but you are, but you don't know it yet. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I do feel like some people are on a certain level where
shortly. I can see it all.
We all kind of understand what's going on right now, but people can't say it. All right. Well,
no.
Thank you. And I think probably there's a little bit of a delay because you're in NZ calling and over the international lines. So thank you so much for calling in tonight, and I appreciate you. Sarah Lee, you have a good night.
You too. I love you, mate.
All right, love you too. Bye-bye. So, again, when we have anybody, with any kind of, unique viewpoint, that's okay. We can listen to somebody for 5 minutes. That was the point of it. We can listen to somebody with an opposite viewpoint. I hope that people work on that, because if you... Like, I bothered myself tonight when I didn't read the rest of that article, because that article triggered me. So I bothered myself, and it actually, for 5 minutes afterwards, it bothered me, because that article offended me, right? But one thing that we should cut out is being offended by someone else's stupidity or something like that, right? And not saying that was, but I'm saying... That's the thing I hear a lot. Oh, it's so stupid, I don't even want to hear it. How are you cutting whole parts of things and you're just not going to listen because you don't agree? That's not how the world works. And that's not, if you were 80% listening and 20% talking, you wouldn't be that jackass saying, I don't want to listen. There was this kid. Oh my gosh. I saw this video of this guy. I honestly can't stand him it's in a different niche, and he does reviews and stuff like that. But on his off time, he talks to people like just pieces of crap. Like he's so smart. If you've ever met those people that think they're the smartest people in the world, and they, you say something like, oh, they're coming out with this. I think they're going to make this and this. You're effing stupid if you think that. They would never do it, and like basically think they know the future and know everything. Hope I'm communicating that right. They go, I don't want to hear it. You're just too stupid. Why is that? I mean, why is there so many people that are just so against to listening to something that goes completely against your views? Because guess what? That's what freedom of speech is. And the people in the same day will say, I want freedom of speech. Well, if you want freedom of speech, then you have to listen to other people's freedom of speech. We have to. And guess what? It is much better to have people all, no matter what varying view they have, it is much better to have that creative thought than to not have it and to assume anyone is stupid. Our country and our planet is going down the shitter. Excuse my French. And it's because the newest generation is just soft as it gets. They can't take anything. And it's not even their fault. It's the corporations that are making these little itty-bitty changes and making everything offensive. Why is everybody so damn offended? Get used to it. Guess what? They want you to think that you're getting offended because guess what? That gets rid of freedom of speech. And is there enemies to freedom of speech? Do you think that might be something that the people in charge would want to get rid of? And when you say the people in charge, you go, oh, you're crazy. You think there's a magical, group of people in charge. You mean the people that are actually in charge that we talk about on a daily basis? The handful of people that all work together, that we've proved all work together, all the social media platforms that all work together, that even have systems that got revealed at Congress that all work together, that literally track everything we do. Oh, but that doesn't exist, even though it does exist. And if you actually watch 15 minutes of Congress hearings, then you would see that. And you'd see them get busted and go, well, legally, I can't say anything right now. I'll get back to you. I've got somebody who is nodding a lot, and he's going to tell me that I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get back to you on that. And we're going to get back to your team, and my team will team up with your team, and we'll team up, and we'll do Microsoft Teams, and we'll talk about possibly not doing that. If you get my drift. Let's get out of here. We only had 2 callers, and I apologize about that. Again, it's a late show. Relabonsky, it's time for healing scriptures. Speak them every day. I think you just said every day. You actually took the V out of that. Every day. You will live and not die. No fear, only faith. Nailed it, Adam. Truth is out there. Thank you. I appreciate that. MCB, thank you for following. And then we've got Truth wins. Gone Girl 777, thank you. Says thank God you're okay, Adam. Thank you. I'm very grateful you're okay. Just wanted to say hello and I love you all. Got to get back in bed. Sorry about the late show to everybody that is early sleepers. I know East Coast, it's 3 hours later. Bad Wolf Gigi, I'm praying that you will be healed. Thank you. Night night all. They are bringing meds. Hashtag Foogle fam. Gone Girl, make sure to pray for her as well. She's in the hospital, I believe. We will pray specifically. That is awesome. Gentle Moss, Earth Observer, Gem, thanks for being a positive force during that call. And Able Bodied, thank you for reminding people about how we do it here. Trinity Wise, thank you. If we don't get offended, trust me, you will have a lot of really good times happen out of nowhere. And you'll find out something you didn't know. Barefoot Last, thank you for supporting earlier. Joe Vivierto, thank you. And Bug Out Channel, thank you for your support. Hope I didn't miss anybody. And again, if you did super chat and I missed it, it will be on the next show on the ticker. Dex.
You know, a wise person, a friend of mine, used to say to me all the time, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you should listen twice as much as you speak.
I think it's pretty simple. And to be honest, it's like I hear things that my brain triggers and it wants to go, oh, I don't believe this, or I think that's, or, you know, they're saying something totally off the wall. And I'm like, that. But at this point, I'm not surprised by anything. Even the Matrix theory and all that stuff, if you look at, I guess the more you find out about any subject, there's arguments for all of them. All of them. Almost all of them have an actual couple things that will make you go, what shape the planet is. There's arguments for both sides that are like, whoa, that is, whoa. Trust me, there is. On every side, there's something that will make you go, why is it like that? The Matrix, Mandela effect, all those things. But again, even if you are religious and that goes against everything, you can still listen, because wouldn't you like somebody to listen to you who might possibly be an atheist? I think that's kind of the point, right? So thank you guys. Everybody, you have a wonderful night. I appreciate you. Let's get out of here. It's going to be a soft-spoken shoutro. It is not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It is a shoutro. Thank you, Dex. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News.
I've got the go and the back around. I do it all back on the back on sound. Got to touch the other way. Got the I say. Stop it, sip it, move. Stop it, dip it, boo. Got to touch another you. I do. If you really want it to, got to say I love you too. Don't let it go to the day. I don't wish you the time.
Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Marfoogle News. Everybody really wanna build guns, no doubt. Gun girl, 770 stock, no, bring Merso1, thank you so much for your massive support tonight. It looks like you just gave half of the Foogle fam a badge tonight. That is much appreciated. Thank you so much. Tracy Q, Brant O, Kevin C, Vanessa D, Lisa K, 23, Ilea, thank you so much for your support. Walking in the dot on 5 phones, on the bunny on back, and everybody having on a Mendes, on the JC, hey, Jimin and Jim and no, oh, hey, only on the 5 and the life with Dory, bumpity, we on, go on the Mockingbird, 101, go on the Griffey on the girl now. I feel for you, I am not far behind. There we go.
Everybody really wanna get funky, but no one that gives you monkey. Huckleberry Hound and the Surrey DPA. Oh, Chunk of Crow and the rest they know they're Jordan where I go.
I had the stoplight, it was never going far. The chewy weather was right there. Life is better on your stairs, and JCAA had it real. Hopefully I will heal. Hopefully they'll have me feel all the way into Maui, and we race to the real jar. And the T-Town Russian girl, you always saw you spit in this world. And the Judy doll, and a concerned one. They all have fun, and recalcitrant, and that cheap is willing. On the Seawalker Hawk and a walkie-talkie, and this is my screen name. Dirty DMJ and a Morphin, everybody got their game. A Catherine M and a J Stone, 78 Daisy. A Luminescence and a Mrs. Marvin, and Ajax, they were she. It was never going anywhere but the bottom of the sea. They dropped it down and they saw Mr. B and Mr. LC. A JC family, they go with the Dusky 4. With a loser offie, a ping of koropi, gotta learn me some karaoke. With the Michael Joromi, I see the phonies, and they ain't around no more. I got the global impact, then the sunny beach crawling, the pollen, everybody is in my dream, they more all in the jam. Avoid standing on the cookie, I got that sweet.
done, look, I take all back around. Introducing the willow, a new link by you, now bring it on the background. And the Marfoogle news on the .com, and it's like EMP. On the north on the VIP, hey, and if you want to support me. I've got the fart is much better in the Benny Hill. Thanks for suggestion. Everybody want to ask me bunches, but no question. With your Ramsey Mount Grand, everybody tan, but not me. Even if I turn purple or maybe blue, then call 911, dude. The beast ascending over everyone, peace was deep for me. And the killer man and everything I can, and dug it up, they man. With the global impact and a bear on the glass and a Roman wolf there is. I'll save your sheep, I've got to go back home. Thank you everybody that supported tonight. Just want to make sure I didn't miss somebody, and I probably did. Holy moly, the Tanzania president has passed away. Passed away. Just want to point out, you guys realize what the Tanzania president said? This ain't no joke. I see it lately, going big around, do it everybody play. In the eye, I give it up, but you pop, bow. but sometimes moves into the apocalypse. I want to see them big old planes and them big old ships. Mercy one, ba 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 ba. Mercy one, ba 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 ba. Warfare is not about timing out, it's about repetitive things. And if you put the repetitive things into the chat, then you will get silent for 5 minutes, like an adult, don't come back in. Or bitching about 5 minutes, it's a big boy can deal with that. Oh yes, they can. Mercy one, ba 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 ba. Mercy one, ba 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 ba. We the global in the back and sit there, no. We just get got target just like that with the RFID inside that tiny needle. Mercy one, ba 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 ba. Mercy one, ba 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 ba. Mercy one, ba 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 ba. Gone girl, angels are watching over you. Gone girl, angels are watching over you. Gone girl, angels are watching.